gospel did this to you? The new owner don't care about you. Remember, some of you don't remember. I barely remember because I'm pretty young. I'm like in my teens or 20s. I mean, I'm young. I still think back in color. You have tough time. The landlord said, you know what, get on your feet. You know, grocery store. I remember my dad's grandpa used to have a grocery store. And he used to say, put on the bill. You ever walk into a grocery store with no money? And the owner says, hey, put on the bill. Come back when you get on your feet. You got to feed the kids. Take some bread, take some milk, take some soda, take some chips here, take it, put it on the bill. We'll figure it out. You know, you try to walk in. I thought about stealing one time at King Soopers. They arrested me. I was just thinking about it. I was like, you know what, how these groceries are expensive and gas is the high prices that it is, man. I should just get in there. No, sir, come with me. I didn't think about nothing. I was thinking about nothing. The new owner don't care about you. The new owner don't care about you. He says, kill all the babies. But you know who lived? Moses. He spared his life. All we need is one good idea. All we need is one of yours ministries to make it. Just one. And all they're trying to abort. You know what abortion means? Abortion is killing it before it's produced, killing it before it comes forth, killing it in the fetus part, when it's too weak to do something, to defend itself. Could you imagine a doctor trying to abort me right now? Like, come here, man, it was a mistake. I'd be like, what the heck? Like the third one this week. You was a mistake. Come here. And I'll be, you know, I'll run. I defend myself. You try to abort me, I'm coming back. I'm calling friends. I'll be like, come now, bring everybody, bring the whole family. Get the van, take the stuff out the back, put kids in. We just going down right now. They're trying to abort me. But when they take it in the fetus, with the little tiny hands and the little eyes and the little ears and the little mind, he is unable to defend himself. They are trying to kill your idea before it's grown enough to defend itself. Because God forbid that my idea grows into something mature. What it could do for this world. Trying to abort your idea. Exodus chapter 7, but Moses lives. Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. But Moses lives. And Moses goes on to become the deliverer. Moses comes and he comes to become the deliverer. Exodus chapter 3, verse 7 says, and the Lord said, now this is after Moses goes into the back of the desert and he's in the wilderness, and he goes and has his first talk with the Lord. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. Now, this part messes me up, because God knew in the beginning that they were taking themselves into debt with the old Pharaoh. God could have stopped it in the beginning. But there's something about men and women of God that produce in hard times. When the enemy comes against us, it's almost like it pushes us closer together. When hard times come, it's almost like we love each other more. We need each other more. Our prayers matter just a little bit. It seems like when we got a taskmaster, when we got somebody over us telling us when and where and how and what, it seems like it just pushes us together and we multiply. So God knew, he said, I'm going to put you in an incubator. I'm going to put you in a little spot before you get rubbed out, before you get turned out, before you get passed out, and I'm going to cause you to increase. He says, so I hear the sorrows. So I've come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians. They were in slavery for 400 years, by the way. ain't even been in trouble for like 4 years. Right? Could you imagine 400 years? Be like, your daddy's daddy was a slave. And your children's children are going to be a slave. I see with drug addiction and alcoholism. It's like they've been drunk since Noah's day. That was funny. I mean, that was funny. I mean, Noah was the first one to get drunk. And addicted. We've been in slavery for so long. Our ideas. You know what isn't big in my household? I don't know if this is right or wrong. It's a fact. Graduating high school. I didn't do it. My son didn't do it. My daughters didn't do it. It doesn't mean nothing to me. It doesn't mean nothing to me because I'm so dyslexic that when I write on my notes, I have to highlight the number because I always flip it around. And if I ever go to Exodus chapter 1, verse 8 on page 84, it's not going to be there. It's going to be Leviticus. And I'm going to say, ain't no Exodus in Leviticus. And I know to flip it around. You know, I wasn't diagnosed with that until my son was diagnosed with dyslexia as a freshman in high school. How you miss that?
That's right.
So it's not a high priority on my list. See, it's not saying you could come to me with more degrees than a thermometer. It ain't going to matter to me what's your walk life, how your prayer life, who you heal. What you sound like when you preach.
Well.
Talk to me.
Come on. Come on.
I had a point. I don't know what it is now, but I had a point. I had a point. Let's move on. I've come down to deliver them out of the hands of Egypt and to bring them up from that land to a good and large land, to a land flowing with milk and honey, to the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites. By the way, graduate high school, kids. Do that. Amorites and the Pezerites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. So God is saying, I want to put you into a place where I want to give you a job in a company where they already have someone hired. Right? Talk to me. He says, I want to send you to a land flowing with milk and honey, only it's occupied right now. Oh, Lord, the whole world, and you got to send me somewhere that's occupied. The whole thing that I could do in the world, the whole thing that I could do in the world, the whole thing that God got me reading. Man, you know I didn't graduate high school. You know I ain't that good. I don't get you reading. Let me break this down. We're at the verge of something great. I promise you. Come with me or don't come with me. I promise you. God is getting ready to shake and shape something. Why do you think Pastor Tim and Brother Dave and Fire Starters and this other brother pastor I know in Commerce City, we all renting buildings like we have to hide ourselves, like we take the crumbs. I'm not settling for the crumbs off a table that has a seat with my name on it. I'm not going to lay on the floor and wait for them to dump off whatever's left over. I want the 3-course meal. Or 7 course. I used to think, why have 7 courses? I can't eat 7 times. But they're little servings. That's why you can eat 7 courses. I want to eat 7 little servings, people. Poor people eat big servings all at one time, like it's a race. I'm serious. I'd be eating like, I hear a bell. Ding. Well, it's probably the microwave or the oven. Ding. And I just go. I always tell Pastor Mister, you a rookie. You a rookie. You a rookie. I'm a veteran. I've been doing this my whole life. He says it's occupied. We are at the verge of something great. We have been offered a seat at the table. We are getting our chance. We are old enough to know better, but young enough to keep it real. We've been through some hard times. We've been through some bad times. And the only thing that stands in front of us, and this money will come. It will come from you. It will come from your neighbor. It will come from a stranger, but it will come. And we will meet the goals that God has set before us so we can leave our mark on this world. But I want it to come through you. I want it to come through us. I want to know in which whom my brother who grew with me Remember the time when we rented? Remember the time we didn't have a prayer? Remember the time we needed new equipment? I don't want someone there who says, no, I don't remember. It's been good the whole time. I want someone standing to me and be like, dang, Pastor, there were like twice I didn't think you was going to make it. Not me either. Don't tell the new people. It's occupied. We got to change the way that we think. We got to change the way we move and that we react. But he says, here I am. I'm getting ready to deliver you out of slavery. But what would you rather be? A warrior or a slave? A warrior or a slave? You know why? One of the greatest reasons that I was sober, that I became sober, is because one day I went over to my drug dealer's house, and he was trying to embarrass me in front of all his friends. And he took the drugs and he threw them at my feet. And he's like, here. He belittled me and embarrassed me because he had something that I wanted. I tried to say, oh no, I will never kneel down and pick that up. See? Because I was a slave. I don't know how many times I've been treated like that. Because I don't remember, I don't realize. But how many times have you been mistreated because you have a slave mentality rather than a warrior's mentality? He says, so I'm going to set you free, but you got to clean it out of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Amorites, the Jebusites. You know what those are? Those are spirits. If you look those names up in your concordance, they all come down to spirits. I want to give you a better life, but there's some spirits you got to deal with first. There's some spirits you got to clean out first. There's some spirits you got to take care of. Man. Yeah. Let's see. Now therefore, behold, okay, that's as far as I wanted to go. Come now therefore, and I will send you to Pharaoh, that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. The promised land is occupied by the enemy, and we must clean it up. Pride, hatred, depression, sickness, suicide. It all has to go. But I don't come as an old slave. I come as a new soldier. I don't come as an old slave. I come as a new soldier. A new way of doing things. It is not the church that used to be 20 years ago. This is not the church it used to be 40 years ago. Times are changing. Things are different. They are now trying to come into non-profit organizations, the government, and start taxing non-profit organizations. When you start the word off with non-anything, non-shoes, non-clothes, non-food, non-profit, and they want to tax you, you want to tax me for these old beat-up shoes that are worn out? You want to tax me for a building that is run down and tore up? You want to tax me for the little bit of money that you give me? This is not the same spirit we are dealing with. We're dealing with something new. Now Moses went to set the people free. Moses showed up and he went to set. Let me ask you something. Do you even want to go? Do you even want to be free? I can get rid of your enemies, but I can't get rid of your friends. Addiction is an old friend. Paranoia is an old friend. Suicide is an old friend. You know why people commit suicide? Because it's an answer. It's the wrong answer. But when you have no answers, you truly believe. I would rather make a bad decision than not have any decision to make at all. I would rather choose the wrong option than to not have options at all. But do you even want to go? Do you even want to be set free? There's some kind of a comfort in being a slave. Do this, pick that up, put that down, take that over, do that again tomorrow. Today, move that over there. Take that over here. Take these two people and do that and do the same thing tomorrow. There's a comfort in being told what to do. I'm ready to get high. I'm ready to be high. I'm ready to be high. I'm ready. I want to be high. I need to be high. I want to be high. I'm a slave to being high. I can't leave because I'm high. I don't go because I'm high. I can't work because I'm high. I can't move because I'm high. I can't parent because I'm high. I am a slave to being high, and there was a comfort in being a slave. Because when you become a warrior, you got to face and fight some things that no one can help you out. Sometimes you got to lock yourself